The sound of wooden wheels on cobblestones meant another neighbor was gone. They were called death carts. I learned to fear that sound when I was 12 years old. My name is Aldrich, and this is the story of how a flea, a rat, and a secret invisible enemy almost swallowed the world. Our town sat by the river, the baker on the corner, the blacksmith hammering at dawn, children chasing stray chickens. But that summer, something changed. People started getting sick. Not a cough or a cold, something worse. They would wake up fine. By noon, burning with fever. By evening, strange black swellings appeared in their armpits, their necks, their groins. They called them buboes, painful lumps the size of eggs. Within 3 days, most of them were dead. At first, my father said it was bad air. Miasma, the priests called it. The planets were aligned wrong, they said. They told us to pray. But praying did not stop the cards. My mother was the first in our house to fall sick. She was fine on a Sunday. By Monday, she could not stand. I remember her eyes, wide and terrified, as the black lumps appeared under her arm. The doctor came in a long robe and a mask shaped like a bird's beak. He put herbs in the beak to protect himself, but nothing could protect us from what we could not see. The true killer was not bad air. It was a flea, a tiny jumping insect, no bigger than a grain of sand. The flea lived on rats, black rats, millions of them. They lived in our homes, our barns, our ships. And when the rats died of the plague, the fleas jumped off, searching for new blood. When a flea bites, it drinks blood, but if it carries the plague, it also pumps a deadly cargo into the wound, a bacteria, a tiny rod-shaped organism called Yersinia pestis. It was invisible, but it was an army, and it was marching through our town. The bacteria enters your body through the bite. It travels to your lymph nodes, the places where your body filters infection. There, it multiplies, fast. The nodes swell into those terrible buboes. That is why they call it bubonic plague. The fever spikes, you start vomiting, your skin turns dark in patches from internal bleeding. That is why they called it the Black Death. The doctor didn't know it, but inside my mother, the bacteria was an army marching to her lungs. If she coughed, that army took flight, searching for the next person to bring down. That is the pneumonic plague. It spreads from person to person, and it kills even faster. My mother did not have the lung plague, thank God, but the buboes were bad enough. She lay in her bed, shaking with fever, while I held her hand. The doctor lanced the swelling, hoping to drain the poison. But the real poison was in her blood. Nothing we had could stop it. She died on a Thursday. They took her away in the cart before sunrise. I did not even get to say goodbye. My mother was one of the first, but she was far from the last. Across our town, then our country, then the world, the silence began to spread. The plague had come from the east, carried on ships with rats in their holds. It swept across the world like a scythe. In just a few years, it killed more than 50 million people, half of Europe. Villages stood empty, fields went untended, the world went silent. All because of a flea, all because of a rat, all because of a bacteria we could not see. For 500 years, the enemy stayed in the shadows. We were fighting a ghost, until a doctor in Hong Kong finally forced it into the light. During an outbreak in 1894, a man named Alexandre Yersin took samples from the swollen lymph nodes of dead patients. He looked through his microscope and saw it. A small, rod-shaped bacteria, the same one that had been hiding in fleas for 1,000 years. He gave it his name, Yersinia pestis. The ghost had a face. Soon after, scientists discovered the full chain. Fleas bite infected rats. The rats die. The fleas jump to humans. The plague begins. Break the chain and you break the disease. So we learned to fight back. First, we cleaned our streets. We removed the garbage where rats lived. We built better houses with fewer hiding places. We kept food covered and away from rodents. Second, we controlled the fleas. Insecticides, cleanliness, and simply not sleeping near animals helped reduce bites. Third, when someone got sick, we isolated them. Quarantine. The word comes from the Italian 40 giorni, 40 days. Ships arriving in port had to wait 40 days before anyone could disembark. It was brutal, but it worked. And then came the greatest weapon, antibiotics. In the 20th century, we discovered medicines that could kill bacteria directly: streptomycin, tetracycline, gentamicin. Today, if someone catches the plague and they get antibiotics early, their chance of survival is over 90%. The Black Death, the terror that once erased cities, is now a treatable disease, but it is still out there. Plague exists in wild rodents, in parts of Africa, Asia, and the Americas. A few hundred cases occur every year. The flea still jumps. The bacteria still waits. But we are no longer blind. My mother died that year. I was 12. I still remember her face. I remember the cart. I remember the silence that followed. That silence is why I tell this story, because the plague was not a punishment from God. It was not bad air. It was a bacteria, a flea, a rat. And once we understood that, we could fight it. We did fight it, and we are still fighting with knowledge, with science, and with the memory of all those we lost. The rat's secret is out, and knowing the secret saves lives.